I think everybody can agree that overall in the world, there's much more negativity than positivity.
Okay, what's going on, solarpreneurs? This is probably one of the most exciting episodes I've ever had the opportunity to be a part of, because we are hanging out here with Mr. Tom Hopkins in his backyard. So Tom, thanks for coming on the show with us today.
You bet. I'm pumped. I love what you guys do.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I mean, just yesterday we were here for part of the Knockstar, sales competition. We had the opportunity to come hang out with you here at your house. You took us out on a little boat ride. Just a wonderful time we had with you. And so, yeah, I'm excited to, even talk a little more today.
Good.
Hear why you decided to start working with solar guys and get a little more involved. So,
well, what I found when I did research was how desperately people in this country need to take advantage of solar.
Yeah.
And of course, as you know, Taylor McCarthy was only 18 years of age when he was given some of my training by his father, and then he came to my seminars, and he has just become a product of the product, which means he knows what I do as well as I do.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so thrilled that he is starting to take my training and carry on as I slow my life down,
Yeah.
which, it's been 42 years where every week I've flown somewhere in the world to teach people called salespeople.
Yeah.
And now, he is going to be doing a lot of that for me. I'll still be active, but it's time. I think I've seen people stay too long doing what they're doing to where they should have retired earlier. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm kind of up in the air right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you with this yard and the boat you got here. It'd be tough for me to go.
Yeah.
Want to back on stage. But so it's one of my favorite stories. When I first met Taylor McCarthy, I saw him speak at Door to Door Con, which I don't know if you've been to that, but it's the big conference for all the door-to-door people. And I remember after I heard him speak, this was maybe like 5-6 years ago. He was the top alarm guy at the time. And I went up to him after. I said, "What's your secret?" And one of the first things he said is, he's like, "Oh, everything I've learned is from Tom Hopkins." And he started passing out flyers of your seminars coming up. This was, I think, 6 years ago. And I never had the chance to go to one, unfortunately. But I just remember, even back then, he spoke so highly of you.
Yeah.
You can hear it in almost everything he says. It reflects back to something you've taught. So yeah, we really appreciate you, just passing on that legacy, and
Well,
see what's happening.
yeah, I couldn't be happier, because I don't think you have the right and the ability to teach something you haven't totally done.
Yeah.
And someone could totally invest in what I do and want to carry on my legacy, but if they haven't lived in the street, knocked on the doors, handled a rejection, overcome objections, and become a pro and made a lot of money, they really shouldn't.
Right.
But of course, that's why Taylor totally satisfies all those items.
Yeah.
And I think based on the way I watch him and his ability, he'll take it to a new level. It'll even be finer and more profound for the solar industry.
Yeah.
And solar entrepreneurs, I just know, and I think solarpreneurs is a great name. I mean, it's clever, it's fun, and, let's face it, no one will forget it once they can learn how to say it, solarpreneurs. So anyway, that's great.
Thank you. Yeah, no, of course. But yeah, we were just talking, Tom. We're sitting, there's some guys up on your roof. For a second, I pulled up. I thought they were putting solar panels up there. But not quite yet, huh?
No, we have had some challenges with our roof, and so we're getting one area redone. But we'll probably have that done. Yeah. He and I are always working like that, but it just hasn't been on the plate right now, but we will.
Okay. Well, yeah, once you get your roof fixed up, let me know. I know some solar guys.
Well, I bet you do.
But yeah, well, Tom, so I wanted to ask you, I know you spoke a little bit to this already, but what was it when Taylor first maybe approached you or said, hey, Tom, do you want to get more involved with Knockstar and, some of these events and calls and all that? What was it that made you excited to be a part of that or want to be more involved?
Well, two things. First of all, I am aware that the energy people, the utility companies, everyone is increasing it to the point where the average homeowner, average income earner, average homeowner is stressed as they see what their utility bills are and how it's going up and up, and how solar satisfies that. I saw that. And again, as I said, Taylor came and we talked. We've been visiting a lot on what we could do. And, it's a normal, beautiful match for a person as good as he is and as qualified as the industry is for what we need to do. It's just a win-win.
Yeah.
And so I'm pumped. And, I could see with the group yesterday how they are so excited that what we're giving them, it's not rah-rah, jump over the fence, blah, blah. It's, hey, here's exactly what you say when they say what they say. Here's how you knock on a door and make sure you bring down defense barriers.
Yeah.
Here's how you all suddenly establish rapport to where a person who was upset that you knocked on their door is now happy that you called on them.
Yeah.
So, all this is an art form.
Yeah.
And selling in general is a very important art form.
Yeah.
It's not luck, wit, charm. It is the skill of all these little things you do.
Yeah.
It's fundamentals applied properly, which is true of everything. In football, the team that wins has fundamentals of blocking and tackling done properly, and because they do, they usually win the game.
Yeah.
So every activity, sport, has fundamentals that you must follow, and if you do and do it right, you'll usually always come getting the agreement of whoever you're talking with.
Yeah.
And that's the art form of, meeting someone at a door who has huge defense barriers, and an hour or two later, they're thanking you and writing a check.
Yeah.
And that's the art form.
Yeah, no doubt. And yeah, it's something we've learned a lot, from Tom, from Taylor, coming to these events. So definitely if you're, more interested in getting involved, we'll talk more about that. But something I wanted to ask you, Tom, is in solar, I don't know if you've seen this yet, since you haven't been, working with solar guys a ton of time now, but something we see a lot, just training guys on our teams, is solar, there's so much money to be made on a single commission. You're talking guys can make 10, 20,000 on a single commission sometimes, especially out in California where I'm at. And so something we struggle with is just having guys stay motivated. Like they'll go close one deal and then they'll make this big commission and they'll be like, okay, cool. Well, I don't have to work for the rest of the month, and just not wanting to hit bigger numbers and just being satisfied with low numbers. So I'm sure you saw that in real estate too.
Sure.
So do you have any advice in things you do?
It's hard to motivate a person who isn't self-motivated.
Right.
And many people work to make enough money to have a existence of security.
Yeah.
But the challenge is a pro doesn't work like that. As you've heard Taylor say, and I say, that solar marketing is a fun, happy opportunity, and the money is not as important as the enjoyment you get for the family you serve.
Yeah.
And so I think that people who earn a certain income and then lay down or stop, they aren't real pros. They're doing okay.
Yeah.
But the pro doesn't quit, doesn't stop.
Yeah.
That's why the income that Taylor and people of his stature in an industry make doesn't determine how hard they work or the activity level they have.
Yeah.
They stay focused and they go out, they do the job, and of course they do reward themselves with vacations. They take good care of their families. They do, say, hey, I've worked hard. Now we're taking this week and going to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
But no, you reward yourself after you've had a very strong activity growth level.
Yeah.
But you don't lay down when you're doing good, because that's when you should do better.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's something you talked about yesterday is like, I think for me, sometimes I'm tempted to slow down when I get a sell or two. Not other guys, but it's like once you have that momentum on your side, once you get the one sell, like Taylor always talks about how the best time to get the second sell is right after the first one.
And the momentum is amazing what happens when your emotions, when your drive level has enjoyed a transaction where you have not only made a nice amount of money, but have satisfied a client, a homeowner. When that all happens, it should be adrenaline to say, let's go for more.
Yeah.
And again, people that let the income they make determine their activities really are not true pros.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and well, another thing I was curious about, Tom, is like you've written, what is it, 19 books now?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. So just a lot of books. That's a good amount. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Your golf book is the best, though, right?
Yeah, right. I had fun with that.
He showed his golf book yesterday that's not released yet, and it's fully developed, but there's no writing on the page yet. So.
Yeah, no, that's one of my, I would call it kind of a joke book, where this guy who was an old dear friend, one day we went out, we played golf, and we opened up his bag, and he says, Tom, I've got a little gift for you. And he pulled out this book, and it said, on the front, What I Have Learned About Professional Golf by Tom Hopkins. And I was amazed, because I'm not a good golfer. Not near anywhere a professional golfer would be. But I looked at it, and I was so excited. And so I said, thank you so much. He says, I hope you enjoy it, because it really is what you do and what you know. And so I opened it up, and sure enough, there's 150, 200 pages, not a word on a page.
Blank.
And of course I laughed and laughed, and it was a cute thing, because it was true. What I really know about professional golf is nothing.
Yeah.
I just like to play, not well, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, we got a laugh out of that yesterday.
Yeah, it was fun.
But after all these books, because I don't know, these days, there's new books that come out. They're supposedly like the new best sales tactics and everything, and everyone's trying to market their stuff. But after, having written all these books, being in sales education for so long, what do you think are some timeless things that won't change, or is there things you think that are changing as time goes on, or do you think sales is pretty much staying the same?
No, I think there's basic fundamentals. Every activity has fundamentals. Mm-hmm. And the fundamentals of selling, and I teach basically 7 of them, these will never change. People need to realize prospecting has got to be done properly. Yeah. Handling objections, overcoming objections, closing the sale, then of course getting referrals, then follow-up. All these fundamentals must be done properly, and they're learned. You're not born with them. I went to so many seminars, listened to so many instructors. I was a sponge to learn what they said we should do. And all of you that are watching this, become very coachable, because people that are successful, their minds are always open, and they'll listen to someone and get an idea, some phraseology, and they'll suddenly say, I'm going to make that mine. And that's what happened to me. I was a 19-year-old, broke, uneducated, didn't make it through college, went 90 days and quit. And that's when I realized, what am I going to do? And thank God, and I do, I found the art of selling, and my vocation was real estate, which I loved, and spent 8 glorious years finding homes for people and moving them in. And that's another thing you have to realize. You have to really love and believe in what you do. It's hard not to, first of all, believe that solar is so hot and wonderful today. And it's hard to see how you wouldn't love what you do, because everybody seems to win in a real nice way. The homeowner wins because of savings. The company wins because of activity and growth, productivity. The representative wins because of making more money. So, whenever you get your life in a win-win situation, take advantage of it, put a lot of activity for it. And I really believe, I don't care what the product or service, if a person will burn the midnight oil, will commit to, ferocious activity, they'll have 3 years to where they're financially on the road to financial independence. And that should be the goal. By financial independence, I mean living comfortably off the income your assets make at a given point in time. And that basically means that you can live well at your lifestyle without having to now make any money because you did it.
Yeah.
But see, so many people don't want to put forth the effort, or like you say, they get doing well and they slow down. Then they say, I need some money, and they speed up. And that is an average person. Their cycles are this, where a pro is always this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, and yeah, you mentioned that you've struggled, starting out 19 years old. What, you were knocking in your band uniform for a while, were you?
Yeah, I didn't have any. In fact, what happened was, I wanted to get hired, and I was only 19. And keep in mind, this is back when there were very few, number one, young teenagers under 20, or women, believe it or not, in the real estate business. Now, that's totally changed. Women control residential real estate as far as numbers. But there were no teenagers, and no broker wanted to hire me. And one broker said, son, I'm going to give you a chance. And I didn't have a car. I was on a motorcycle. And he says, well, I shouldn't probably give you a chance and hire you, but your attitude is good. And so if you'll show up Monday, and even though you don't have a car, we'll hopefully get you making money so you can buy a car. And he says, show up Monday. And of course, we have a dress code. And we would like to have our people wear a suit, which right away I cringed. I didn't say anything, but I literally at that point in my life didn't own a suit. And then I thought, well, I do, because when the Beatles came to the Hollywood Bowl the very first time, I said, you know what? I went to the Hollywood Bowl, saw the Beatles, and they walked out in these gorgeous suits that had vest or what's on the collar? Anyway, they were beautiful silver, shiny suits. And I took a picture, and sure enough, found a tailor, and I had one made. And so I decided that's the only suit I got. So I walked in that next Monday to the real estate office, got off my motorcycle, walked in this bright silver band uniform. And the broker kind of looked up and saw me standing there. And he said, everybody, heads up here. This young man just walked in, Tom Hopkins. He drove his motorcycle in, and when you look at what he's wearing, if he can make a living in that outfit on a motorcycle, I expect all of you to get rich. And that was kind of how I started. And, fortunately, I ended up getting a car and starting. And, it was a wonderful 8 years selling homes.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, how long did it take you, would you say, until you, started making money, having success?
About 4.5, 5 months of really not making hardly anything. And luckily, I started going to seminars, and I went and saw a man named J. Douglas Edwards,
Right.
which was my original mentor,
Yeah.
and I took every word. And most of the people watching this have access to the Doug Edwards. We call it Doug Edwards, but his name was J. Douglas Edwards,
Okay.
and they were records, and I took them and put them on cassettes. Now we don't have them on CDs, but his training, it was my foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's someone that Taylor McCarthy talks a lot about too.
And
So
he has the
it's-
records from Mr. Edwards. I know Taylor went and bought every one of Mr. Edwards' records,
Oh,
and he's got them. And so anyone that hasn't heard them or wants to listen could probably see if you could even borrow one from Taylor
yeah,
and listen to it and record it. I'm sure he'll let you
yeah,
and make it yours.
yeah. No, that's a great idea. And well, yeah, because just like in real estate, a lot of people in solar. I mean, that's the one. I guess sometimes complaint people have about solar is that sometimes it takes a while for these commissions to start coming in, and it's not as quick of a sell as other things. Like people sell pest control door to door, and get
Sure.
can get a commission on it the next week. And solar, I think, is getting better with that. But for those that are like, I don't know, maybe struggling or it's taking a while, for you, was it just putting your head down, going to work, or what would you say are the things that took you from,
Well,
struggling to actually finding success?
Well, fortunately, I was in construction before I went into real estate.
Okay.
And I also I think, smart enough to put my money away. So I had enough cash saved from construction, and I could live for 6 months. And that's something I've always taught. If a person goes into the field of sales and marketing, they need to have enough money to live without stress until it starts to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
And it does take a while. I understand in solar that some people have to wait quite a while.
Yeah.
They close the transaction, but the money's not there.
Yeah.
But I think that's just part of the way the game's played.
Yeah.
You got to learn the rules, play the game, and plan to win.
Yeah. Well, it's true, and I wish I would have known that. So for those listening, I think it's good. I mean, there's ways they can do it now where they give people some upfront money, things like that. But when I started in solar, I had $50 in my bank account, and I had to live off of other people's food, and I was, cooking them eggs in the morning, just hoping they'd share their breakfast with me and getting out there. But I don't know, there's something to be said with that too, is when you have the urgency to make
Sure.
it happen, you go out and push more, I think. And
Well, and see, your story is the kind of story that people need to hear. That you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You weren't born with abundance. I mean, you're the same way I was. My mom and dad were very average income people, wonderful, wonderful parents, but dad never found his niche. And I believe your niche in life is when you find a way to make an income that you love, and it's possible to make a lot of money. And that's what sales and solar is all about,
yeah,
because you can do that. I look at the income some of the folks who were here yesterday were making,
yeah,
and they never make that in average jobs.
I know.
So it's super. And I think it's going to even get better. Our world is changing so rapidly, and I think that the people in the world are saying, I'm not paying these utility bills.
Yeah,
And of course, if you have a good presentation, if you learn to speak as Taylor does at the door, if you learn to handle objections the way you do, if you just concentrate on the phraseology, become an actor or actress, learning your lines, you can make an incredible income.
yeah,
And again, you're not selling a bunch of crap. You're selling something good for a family.
yeah, no doubt. And yeah, if you're listening to this podcast and not convinced of that, then I mean that's obviously the first place you should start is write down all the reasons how you're helping out homeowners.
Sure.
You got to be completely sold. And well, speaking of learning the lines, So something you talk about a lot about, Tom, and Taylor does too, just practicing, drilling, rehearsing. So how much of that was a factor when you were starting out? Were you going to top guys in the office and memorizing their lines?
Sure.
Or what exactly do you do when you're practicing drilling and
Well,
rehearsing?
and that's kind of what I did. I went to a seminar and the man said, find out the top income earner in your company, get their permission to sit as they're on the phone talking to make appointments, ask their permission to sit when they are talking with people at the desk or in their home. And I did. I found the number one income earning real estate person and went and listened and made notes. Back then we had no recording devices. I know that sounds funny, but this is many years ago. But I was an avid note taker and I wrote down everything they said. Then I became an actor or actress and rehearsed it. You know, they say it costs too much. I had 14 words I would say. They say I want to think it over. I had 73 words I would say. So that anything they said to not get the yes to me, I'll handle the words to turn the no into the yes.
Yeah, yeah, incredible. And yeah, it's super important. I think it's forgotten. Really, we have no excuse because back in your day, I mean, you had to write everything down.
That's right.
These days, we got YouTube, we got this podcast. You can go online anytime here. You know.
Yeah, no, you have access to so much valuable information today. And, you know, the key is practice, drill, rehearse. You know, you can't just hear it once. You have to hear it, and if it's recording, listen to it. Turn your car into a classroom every mile you drive. And the average salesperson of any product, if we could average it out around the world, will spend about 5,000 hours driving in their vehicle. And that can be either just music or negativity of news, or it can be motivation, be training. And I just think people need to turn that darn player in their car into a training tool and listen and rehearse till, you know, you practice, drill, and rehearse till it all becomes an internalized part of you.
Well, yeah, it's funny because I did a podcast with Taylor McCarthy last year. We're going to do another one here soon, but so many people have gone up to Taylor and told him the exact same lines. And he has a lot of videos, things like that now. But like when we first did this podcast, people would just listen to this on repeat 20 times. And then they go up and say the same words he's saying. So he's like, man, I feel like I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna go to, but really, I mean, that's how it's done. It's like success leaves clues, right? And for guys, which is most of us that aren't like born salesmen and everything, it's all you have to do is go listen to the guys that are having a ton of success. And we're fortunate to have good content and good material.
Yeah, that's one thing I hope the folks watching this will realize, that if you have an environment of success with talented people to watch and listen to, you're in such a great opportunity to become successful. You know, there are many companies, and I know a lot of them, that people on the top don't know what to really teach to the people that are starting or that are in the middle. But in your company, you got people on every level that can help, can train, and practice, drill, rehearse, watch the other people, take this program and just internalize all we're covering. Super.
Yeah, no doubt. And so, Tom, just to kind of transition towards the end here, another thing that I'm really impressed with is just, you know, all the referral-based business you built when you're in real estate. And so in solar, a lot of us struggle sometimes to get referrals because it's like they put solar on once, and if they stay in that home forever, they're a lot of times not necessarily going to be repeat customers or anything. So do you have any advice, like what would you say to build out a referral program? What helped you in real estate do you think we could apply over to solar?
Well, first of all, if you make them happy with solar, I think the thing I would do and say, and I would make it honest, like say the people working under you or your company, your team, they should literally use you for the reason why they have to knock on the door, why they have to say hi, And I also like the words management has asked me to ask the folks we serve if they know anyone else we can help.
Like that.
And if they like and trust you, they all have managers or people above them.
Yeah.
So when you say management has asked me to ask people we serve if there's anyone else they might know.
Yeah.
For example, it could be a relative, it could be an aunt, an uncle. Now see, I'm opening their minds to people.
Yeah.
Aunt, uncle, it could be one of the neighbors. We find something interesting,
Yeah.
that there are 10 people across the street and 5 on each side, and these 20 people are very interested once they see we're getting solar on your roof. Which of those folks do you think I might go and see?
Yeah.
And of course, I really want you guys and gals to do this. When you put in a solar unit, the neighbors need to know. You need to blame management. Hi, and of course, today you can get the name of every homeowner from their address.
Yeah.
So you can knock on the door, back up, smile. Hi, Mr. Johnson, I came by because the upper manager of my company knows that we just installed a wonderful solar program for the Smiths up the street. And they've asked me to make sure the neighbors know, because people today are looking for every opportunity to lower overhead, to cut this tremendous utility challenge with money. So I thought I'd let you know what we do. Do you know anyone that I might serve? If it's not right for you.
Yeah.
Boom, see?
That's all. Yeah.
Say it the right way and you will make the play.
Yeah. I love that. Well, it's cool because like how can someone be mad about that? It's like,
Sure.
oh, just don't be mad at me. Upper management is the one
That's right.
that sent me to the house.
That's right.
And so
Blame the guy above you for why you're doing it, because they'll relate and they'll feel empathy for you
Yeah.
and not be upset.
I know. Yeah, and I think you were talking about that yesterday, just a door presentation. So I'm like, hey, forgive me. Just upper management told me, you know.
Yes, they're requiring me to do this.
Yeah. So,
All right.
Yeah. Power. I love that. But that's the problem is most people, I think you probably agree, most people like don't ask for the close. They don't ask for the referral. It's just, I think it's something I had to learn is just getting used to like being in that sometimes. Some people say it's awkward or whatever, but just getting used to that feeling of asking for what you need, because
Sure.
I think people don't ask for referrals.
Well, and you know this too. I am such a believer that you become a master asker, where you learn to ask all the right questions. And all of you folks, I hope you'll take advantage of the art of questioning that both Taylor, my Taylor McCarthy, that we all eat, sleep, drink, questioning and listening, not talking and telling.
Yeah. Boom. Love it. Well, and Tom, to wrap up here, another thing that we've learned a lot from you is you talk about your positivity shield, the little, I think you called that, were you?
Zip.
Zip, positivity. So can you speak to that? Like
Sure.
how important is just being positive for you? And
Well,
you know?
I think everybody can agree that overall in the world, there's much more negativity than positivity.
Right.
I mean, the news is loaded with negative cycles. There's been so many economic challenges. And so you've got to guard yourself. And it's a game I started playing. I just felt that I am going to block negativity, and I call it my zip game. And it's something that I did every morning before I left to get in my car and go and talk to people on the street. And I just take my left hand and I go zip, my right hand I go zip, and then I say, I'm now in my positive shell. And I pretend that I put a shell around my brain, my mind, so that anything that comes at me negative is blocked. So I hope you that are watching this will take advantage of that. And it was so fun yesterday, and it's so fun at a seminar when I get people, hundreds of them, going zip, I'm now in my positive shell. And we block the negativity and keep going. And if we get rejected, we laugh it off and look for the next yes hidden behind the nose.
Yeah. Yep. So everyone listening, you can pause it right now. Zip up your positivity shield, and
That's right. Zip them up.
especially in door to door.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
that affects us all. So Tom, it's been incredible just being able to hang out with you, spend some time with you. And my last question is, if people want to, you've written 19 books, so if just I guess keeping solar in mind, what would you say if someone was going to look for the first book to
Well,
check out?
yeah, in fact, what's happening, because I'm kind of not really retiring, but slowing my life down,
Yeah.
Amazon has taken all my books and CDs, and they've got them and discounted them, which is really exciting because they've got them at like 70% less than we used to market them for.
Wow. Okay.
So my 19 books, my CDs, my DVDs,
Yeah.
all of that is available. If you go to Amazon, Tom Hopkins, you can find them. And if you have a challenge with that, our company, Tom Hopkins International, is here in Phoenix, Arizona, and you can always contact us and we'll take care of finding you where our books are. But the first book, How to Master the Art of Selling, sold millions of copies because I tried in that first book to give everything a human being would ever need to make a lot of money selling whatever the product is. So I hope I can become a part of your life and a part of your growth to achieve your full potential, which we all deserve and should go for.
Yeah, 100%. So for all our solarpreneur listeners, go buy Tom's book if you haven't read any of his books. Reach out. Do you ever get on social media or anything like that, Tom?
No,
Maybe
not really.
Leave that to the young guys.
Yeah, you guys take care of that
You're
now.
still young, but well, yeah. And so, yeah. Well, if you want to connect with Tom, Knockstar is a great way to do it.
Sure.
We're getting on calls with you, so reach out to me or Taylor McCarthy. Let them know you heard this podcast. And
Great.
make
All
sure
the
you get
best.
taken care of. Yep. So, Tom, thanks again for coming
You
on.
bet.
Look forward to continuing to work with you in Knockstar and appreciate you everything you're doing.
Let's keep going. All the best.
All right. Thanks, Tom.